All right, what's going on, everybody? Aaron Wilson here with the one and only Chris Wilson to talk a little 49ers football with the only Sunday, on the only Sunday that we don't have football in a long, long time. Chris, how you doing?
Oh, not well. Yeah. Like you said, first non-football Sunday
It's
of
not
the
a good
year.
thing. It's not. It's
So,
not. It's not a good thing. It doesn't
yeah.
feel right. It feels a little dirty. It's like, what are we gonna do
Yeah.
until the draft?
Well, I mean, we have free agency in the draft and, mini camps and before we know it, we'll be right back in it.
Yeah, I hope
6
so.
months from now, we'll be like, a game or two into the season.
I hope so. So
Yeah.
today, what we want to do is we're going to jump on, just do a little Q&A. We posted on social media. Again, if you're not following us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, please
Then you're
do
done.
so. Exactly. Please do so. We're just going to do a little quick hit. We're just going to do two questions to talk about. And the first question that we had today is from I'm not sure who it was from. But the question is, what are the 49ers' top priorities this offseason? So what we're going to do is we're going to go and share my screen with you guys, and you're going to see what we're looking at for free agency. I'm using overthecap.com to check out free agency. So we're going to get off the screen, or at least get to the side
Yeah.
of the
Which
screen.
you should do as well.
Yes. And we're going to check out, okay, who is up for free agencies. You'll see on the screen UFA, unrestricted free agent, excuse me. And your list is Brett, Thomason, DJ Jones, Mostert, Kwan, Jeff Wilson, Ross Welly, Josh Norman, Marcel Harris, Mohamed Sanu, Jaquiski, Tart, Tavon Wilson, Travis Benjamin, the one and only Dante Johnson, Tom Compton, Arden Key, Marcel Hurst, Jordan Willis, Trenton Cannon, and Trent Sherfield. I mean, it seems like a pretty lengthy list. That's about the standard, right? I'm talking about what, 12, 15 guys, something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's really not that bad.
nah,
Next year's the bad year
yeah,
if we don't, because we have a couple guys from that draft that we signed that were good.
yeah,
Like two,
yeah. So,
or yeah, two.
so right,
Um, so we need to re-sign them, and also, yeah, I'd say it's not that bad compared to what some other teams are dealing with. It's not bad at all.
yeah. All right, so just go. We'll do a rapid fire, and we'll go yes or no, and then we'll get Chris's opinion, then we'll get my opinion on if we're going to sign him or not. And all right, Verrett.
Yes, we'll sign him because he signed a 1-year prove it deal this last year, and he didn't prove it. Well, he did prove it that he gets injured a lot, and I don't think we care as much about the injuries as, and that probably didn't come out right. We obviously care about the injuries, but we're more willing to gamble on his injury situation, and I think he'd be more likely to stay with us because of the way we treated him. So I say it's a yes that he signs himself another 1-year prove it deal, and maybe he doesn't prove it, or he does prove it in the other way.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the troubles the 49ers had this year with cornerback, and we were all excited about Verrett and him coming back and being the guy. And then we get him for, as you see here, 5.5% of the snaps. And it was obvious that was I think that is one of the big priorities. Tomlinson.
I think that we do re-sign him, and we shouldn't, and we'll overpay for him because Shanahan thinks that he's a lot better than he is, but he really showed his age this last year, and even the year before, he was overrated by places like PFF, and he gets to be right next to Trent Williams, so he doesn't have to deal with some of the issues that the other side of the line deals with. He's pretty much safe on one side, and he's just he's gotten too slow to really pull him. When we've talked about this before, it's like the running back's hitting the hole before our lineman is hitting the hole. When we're pulling him, and he's just not that great against pass rushers. I mean, he's just not that good anymore. I think when we got him, it was a good. We did a good job of trading for him, and then signing him. And I think that his time, unless he's going to sign some contract that's similar or less than we signed him for last time, then I would rather he walk. I mean, of course, the problem is we don't have anybody to replace him. So, he's a known entity to us as someone who's fine. He's thought of by the 49ers as somebody who is very good. So that's a problem. So I'd say we're probably going to sign him, and it's going to be for too much money.
Yep, I'm with you 100% on that one. DJ Jones, what do you think?
That's it. That was your analysis.
That is fine. I mean, I think you said what you need to say. He's valued higher than we should really value him, and we're probably going to sign him. DJ Jones, on the other hand, I feel like is undervalued by us, and he really balled out, especially in the playoffs. And I would 100% make sure that we guarantee him in the middle of that defensive line for us.
Yep, but he is not going to be cheap.
No.
Yeah, and I guess his salary is what, looking on the screen there,
3.5 mil.
3.5, and that's only because of the escalator, I assume, because he was he a 6th or 7th round pick?
Yeah, I can't remember which, but I can look.
I mean, he was he's way back there, so he wouldn't be making that much money unless he had already proven himself in his first few years. So he's, I guess he missed one season, right? Missed a majority of one season.
Yeah, he did.
So he has some injury issues, but I think ESPN said that he was the best pass defending interior lineman in the NFL, which is not true, but still shows you that he's pretty good at it. And he can get after the quarterback, and we need to stout middle of the defensive line. And even though we are getting a player back, I think that Jones is better at this point in his career, and they also technically would play different positions. Or I guess they could sort of interchange, but yeah, losing him would be a big problem for the interior defensive line. And we've seen what happens when the interior defensive line stops balling out, is teams run all over us. So we really need to be the team that we were at the second half of last year into the playoffs, where if you run the ball up the middle, then you just get stuffed. Just like when we run the ball up the middle against everyone, we get stuffed. So we need that to be an option that opposing coaches don't have. Like, you can't just run up the middle because you're just going to get stuffed by the Niners line. So we need to have that continue for our offense, or for our defense, to force opposing offenses into third and long, so we always give up. But then to get our offense back on the field after we run up the middle twice and then throw it once. So for me, he would be high on my list of priorities this offseason, maybe at the top.
Yeah, maybe at the top. Maybe if we're at 1, him 2. Mostert. Thoughts on Mostert? Is there any chance that they will still sign him? I don't think so.
I love Mostert, but
too pricey.
Actually, I don't know if I've spoken about it here, but his agent's a real piece of work. So his agent doesn't have any other real good players that he represents. So Mostert is like his guy. Like, he makes his money from Mostert.
Yeah.
And he's like a UDFA agent. And Mostert just happened to hit it big. And, he caused a lot of problems the last time we signed him.
Yeah, I remember
that. And I would expect him to do the same thing, because, just looking into him, it's like he's I mean, his agent is now living a different lifestyle than he was pre-Mostert contract.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's pretty much made this guy. And it's just a random guy who went to his college that, I think it was an ex-player. I think it was Tulane or something like that. I think an ex-player knew him and went to school with him there, and because of that, they connected. And then, he and Mostert have been boys ever since. But he's like buying new houses, and but I've done a little bit of background on
It
that,
seems like you definitely dove
just
deep
a
in that.
little bit,
Yeah, I remember when
a little
he
bit.
had issues.
Nothing
You were talking.
illegal,
Yeah,
but
of course
a
not.
little bit of background on him, and I am not a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the
So
negotiations with him, and it
he's
wasn't a
going to
pretty sight.
take. Yeah, I mean the one thing is he didn't do anything last year, so that sort of works in our favor. But everybody saw what he did in the playoffs the year before, or I guess 1 year prior.
Yeah,
Then, and he was good in 2020.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean he was amazing in the playoffs in 2019, 2020.
yeah. I mean,
So
I'm
everybody
a big
knows
Moster fan.
yeah, and I mean, although I keep being told that his numbers are similar to speed wise to the guys we have now, and just the way that he's able to find the hole, and he knows where he's going, and he takes that one step, and he's at top speed. I mean, I don't want to say I've never seen anybody, but at least on the Niners, I've never seen anybody who makes this decision and flies to that hole like that. That old, I think it was a Japanese show. It was like a comedy kind of like game show and they brought it to the US like just for a little while. But then I think they took it off the air because it was like inhumane. But one of the activities or the things they had to do, I don't even know, like there were no winners, everyone was a loser, was to like run as fast as you could through this doorway, and you didn't know if it was like the doorway was made of paper or if it was made of, I don't know, something hard like brick or something like that, like wood. And so some people would go flying through, and some people would just go like bang, and that's the way he hits every hole. But he hits it like he knows he's going through it.
Yeah,
And I mean he doesn't always go through them, but he hits it at full speed, and that's why he has so many house calls.
yeah,
Because he goes from first level to second level, out, within the outside zone better than anybody that I've seen on the Niners team ever. So that'd suck.
It would suck, but it seems like that's writings on the wall for him.
He always gets injured. I mean, he has which might work in our favor too. So
yeah, I mean, there's a chance. I think if it wasn't for that agent, like there was a chance that we have a little bit more for a Niner friendly deal, but I think that's out.
Yeah, he seemed to be a lot more. I mean, not like Jimmy level goodbye when he got hurt, but
yeah,
it was a lot
still
more
around.
Goodbye than see you guys later.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I felt like I thought that was the case too, and then I kept on seeing him on the sidelines with the team, and I was like,
really?
okay, maybe there's a chance, maybe there's a bigger chance than I thought. I mean, I'd put it at 5 to 10%, right now.
Oh, you'd actually put it that low. So I wouldn't put it that low.
Not that low.
But I wouldn't. Like normally in a situation like this, it would be like a shoe-in. It's like you had the running back, he had the job. You're gonna continue to give him the job, or he's gonna win the job. And he got hurt last year, and he's been training with the team, and he's gonna get right back in there. That's the way that it would normally go in this type of situation. But I think that his agent's gonna throw a wrench into that.
Yeah,
and
a big fat number.
And make it a number that's bigger than than it should be. But the thing is, he might not get that anywhere else, and we don't need him.
It's true.
But we really do at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but I would not put any type of money, not even a couple bucks on it, depending on what the odds would be. The other guy that I will put money on coming back is going to be K1. I think that it seems like every single year we're like, okay, this has got to be K1's last year. Got to be K1's last year. And then he comes back for another, and then he comes back for another, and then he comes back for another. And it's actually pretty darn good, even though he's 31 right now.
As long as he's not covering Cooper Kupp, he's good.
Yes, this is true. This is 100% true.
Help.
I mean, so I would put money on him coming back because he's at 2.3 million, and a little bit of change from there. But I feel like they need that slot. They don't have a guy in the wings ready to go, and a younger guy. think they're going to throw Lenore in there, even though originally I thought there was a chance that they might put him in the slot. They talk about some of his slot, quick skills, but I think they need to sign K1
Yeah.
to another year.
Yeah, I think Lenore is an outside guy, even though he looks like he should be an interior guy.
Yeah.
And I think he talked about that a little bit when he first was drafted. That he's somebody who works on the outside. He's not, and I mean, he'll play on the inside if you want him to play, or he'll just not play at all if you don't want him to play at all. Like we apparently didn't want him to play at all for the latter half of last year. But I mean, K1's backup right now is Dante Johnson, right?
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, Dante Johnson is going to be on the team in some capacity, but you want, you'd rather have someone better backing him up.
Yes, you would,
and you definitely want someone better starting than like we did not want Dante Johnson to play in this upcoming season. Like he could be on the team because like he's always on the team.
Yeah,
but he shouldn't be playing. Yeah, there's a direct correlation between the amount he plays and a negative correlation, and the how well our defense in the secondary plays. So he is supposed to be like a break in case of emergency kind of guy, but he's been playing everywhere. Like
relied on. I know, threw him at safety. I was looking at film a couple weeks back, threw him at safety.
I mean, I like him more and more. Just the fact that he's like a meme now,
Yeah.
So
I'm looking down this list, and the big guy that we should really take some time to talk about is going to be Tart, and then we'll do a rapid fire with the rest of the guys. So, I think Tart's a guy. I think I've had his jersey for the past even though I have the wrong number now, for 6 or 7 years, and I like the guy regardless of what happened with dropping the football. I still like him.
Did he sign it for you though?
He did sign it for me. I actually sent. Yeah, he was like, "Send me your jersey and you'll sign it and send it back." He actually signed it and sent it back to me, which is pretty cool.
That's serious props.
I know, right?
For that,
I know, right? Yeah. For doing that. I know I got lucky watching found on Instagram, and I'm still a Tart guy. I feel like the combination of Tart and Ward is a good combination to keep going. And in the safety spot, I feel like they, and towards the back end of the year, help with the issues at cornerback a lot, and I'd like for them to sign him for another year.
Yeah, there's no way that our secondary would have been able to run if we didn't have our safeties in place.
No doubt.
They make up for so much of the issues, that happen in our secondary with young players who don't really know what they're doing, and it's not necessarily their fault because they're young or they're inexperienced in being asked what they're being asked to do.
Yeah,
but they're inexperienced in doing what they've been asked to do. So I really want to keep those two guys together.
Me too.
Of course, their long history,
high school history
is good, and Tart is as bad as he feels. I mean, that could also be another thing that works in our favor, is that dropped interception.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm less upset with him about that than everyone else is.
I think you are 100%.
Yeah.
Even though both of us, when we were watching the game, I told this story.
When it happened, I mean, it was like that. Okay, that wasn't Ward. It's like only one of the two guys are able to catch a football at a time. You can't, both of them can't do it.
Yeah.
But it's the worst drop of his life, and it's probably the worst moment of his life, at least football-wise. Probably, maybe in his entire life. I don't know. Maybe. But I know everything he's done for the team, and I can see everything he's done for the team. And even though he also didn't do very well getting to the corner on that cup touchdown, I mean, he's not perfect. But then again, he's supposed to be a strong safety.
It's true,
and he can play strong safety, or he can play free safety, or he can play wherever you want him to play.
Yeah,
and he's a leader, and he is. Yeah, he is a guy that Balky drafted, correct?
Yeah, I think you are correct with that.
Yeah, so if he is, he he's one of Bucky's few good
signings.
safety choices of his many, many, many safeties that he drafted.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked Hart a lot. I think he has one more good contract in him, and I hope it's with the team.
Yeah. All right, let's go rapid fire. Give me a yes or a no. Jeff Wilson, Jr.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with him last year.
Guess how much without looking at the screen. Guess how much he makes.
Oh, more than you would think, like 1.5,
$2 million.
2, yeah,
$2
something
million.
like that.
All right, Jeff Wilson, yes or no?
Yeah. I don't. First of all, I don't understand why Shanahan loved him so much, and I don't I know he was hurt a little bit, but then what happened to him?
Yeah, he stopped using.
Did something? Did he get really hurt? Or something like more hurt than he was?
Not as far as I know.
Because he really slimmed down, and I've always had my issues with him because I don't think Shanahan knows how much he fumbled in college, which is like he fumbled more. He's like the all-time leading fumbler of college. I mean, it's unbelievable. I think it was every 30 times he touched the ball, he fumbled, and I'm not even kidding. Like every 30 touches, he fumbled the ball.
I would go for yes or no on Wilson. What do you think? They sign him.
Let's say you just want to get to the point. I think that yes. Yeah, Shanahan loved him, and who knows the Shanahan, but I think so. We don't have a lot of other running backs. I mean, we're playing a wide receiver running back last year.
This is true. He is a Wilson, so we'll give him.
And he was by far our best running back.
All right, Ross Dwelly, yes or no?
Ross Dwelly.
$1.6 million.
I'm sorry?
$1.6 million.
I mean, that's how much you have to pay for a guy who's been playing for a few years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to me at all because he doesn't really do that much.
Anything.
I know that he and Kittle are tight. He needs to put some weight on because he can't really block, and he's okay. I mean, he's just he's like another guy. Sorry, Ross. I don't mean to be mean to you. But then again, so I'll take that back. He took some huge hits when Kittle was out.
And made
not last year, but the year before.
Big plays.
He took some monster shots, and he knew that they were coming, and he took them like a man, and he held on the ball. So he's not another guy. I apologize. I'm sorry.
It's okay
about that.
We'll send a care package or something to you.
Yeah. So send you some love. So I'll change my mind and say I hope we do.
Okay.
Because I just was mean to him, sort of for no reason at all.
I'll go with a no, and we finally bring in a second solid tight end to pair with Kittle.
We tried to do that once.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
A guy who gets injured all the time that we knew was going to get injured, and he was really good when he was healthy.
All right, Josh Norman. I'll go first on this one. I think it's
What's the point of going for it? We'll go with it. I think that they didn't sign him last year.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. He was in. I mean, he was in hands out dog. I don't know if they made a new one for him.
Yeah,
he was, and I don't understand why because he wasn't that bad. He wasn't.
I agree.
He wasn't as bad as he was made out to be.
I agree. I think it's a hard pass. Marcel Harris as a linebacker, I also think that is also a hard pass. I think you have enough hybrid guys. DFF, kind of in the wings. They've got a little bit of time, and I'm sure they'll bring somebody else in who can be, replacement level linebacker that can do more than Marcel Harris. Do you disagree?
Yeah, I mean, is he even at that level of replacement level linebacker? I mean, yeah, he's a guy who can play both positions, sort of.
Yep.
He's an anti-hybrid. He's he can't play
that
linebacker or safety very well, but every once in a while will make a huge hit.
Yeah,
and he's pretty fun. So
but he needs to wrap up. He needs to learn how to wrap up, though.
He needs to
learn how to wrap up instead of just delivering a shoulder every single time.
He doesn't even know what that means.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually you want your linebackers to do that. We definitely want your. I remember the one time they put out like free safety, and it's
Yeah,
just like, no, you need to stop the guy. You
yeah.
can't just try to take his head off.
All right,
So
Muhammad.
he's another guy I
Muhammad's.
don't really care about too much,
Yeah,
whether he comes back or
sorry.
not.
We love all 49ers, but Marcel, you can.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah, no, that is not on a personal level.
if he's back or if he's
Yeah,
not back,
yeah, it doesn't really matter.
whatever.
All right, Muhammad Sanu.
I think he will be back because Shanahan likes him.
Shanahan's guy. Yeah,
He's a Shanny guy,
well,
and they do need some maturity
it's
at
true.
wide receiver.
That's true.
So I don't see any problem with keeping him for the minimum
But, yeah,
and having him like basically all it does is just draw pass interference calls.
yeah. I mean, I
And,
feel like you got Jennings, who kind of has that big slot position kind of locked down that the Niners have been looking for. That he can get better and better next year and the following year. Where you don't necessarily need Sanu, but I'm with you on having the older guy that's going to help out. With the young boys with Devo and Ayuk. So I would go for a yes with him coming back. The other Wilson, Tavon Wilson.
probably depends on Tart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I don't really I wouldn't, but I feel like you can do better via the draft for cheaper.
yeah, that's the question if they're going to address it or not. If they don't address it in the draft, I think they'll end up signing them if they don't get another safety who's more of a free safety type as opposed to Tafunga, who I think is more of a strong safety type, and we're not even really sure if he's really a safety type yet.
Yeah, really. I mean, he's like more of a hybrid guy.
Yeah, yeah, he's more of a hybrid linebacker guy that shoot. You never know.
Although we play him at free safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go yes for Wilson. I think Wilson's going to be back for another year.
I mean, you're going to pay. I mean, I assume you have to pay like over $1 million for the guy.
Yeah, 1.125 from last year. All right,
no.
Travis, another wide receiver who has a little bit of tenure on him. Travis Benjamin.
No, just get rid of him and just bring Richie back.
Oh my God, free Richie James and bring him back, please.
Is James on this list?
James is on the list, but way down. I think barely. Dante Johnson.
I mean, he might not be back on day one, but he'll be back at some point.
He'll definitely be back. I agree.
The question is, how many times is he going to be on the roster this year?
If only we could bet on an over-under. If we could bet on an over-under that Dante Johnson was going to be on the team for at least like 5 games, I would take that bet. Like,
yeah,
really
he'll be on for 5 games. They're not going to like be in a row.
Yeah,
yeah, he is like I said when I was on the Nine Noise podcast. It's like he is a permanent member of the team, even if he's not allowed in the building all the time because he's not part of the team. Then he like has a tent out back or something like that they keep him in, or he's what I think I said he was. They give him like a year-long pass like to ride around on the rides next door at at the amusement park, and then they just bring him in whenever they need to bring him in. But last year they pretty much had him on the roster the entire season because we had so many injuries.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be back.
Yeah, I mean, no one else wants him, and we do.
We do.
And
speaking about nobody that wants,
he wasn't really that bad last year.
No, I think he kind of
compared to. I mean, he wasn't good at football, but for him, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he did some stuff. I was impressed with how well he did in the run game, coming up and making some
free
hits.
Safety, and they're moving him all over the place. So I mean, forget Tart, just put him in there. Don't do that.
All right, Tom Compton. Speaking of nobody really wants him, but we do for some reason.
But why wouldn't anybody want Tom Compton? He's ESPN's best run blocking tackle in the NFL last year.
Have another.
Yeah, but they even said like in that article that it was basically it was an impossible task to rank these guys and give them grades because it's just there's too much going on. It's like basically we're wrong, but this is the best that we can do. I think that was a Chris Brown thing. I think he was who sort of introduced the whole concept of their win-loss ranking system.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the fact that he said that, something that, PFF just says that their rankings are like gospel, but Brown is amazing. And he is a lot more honest and says that this is really hard to do and we're not sure how to do it. And here's the best that we can
You
do
respect
right now.
that, and that's
And
how you should be.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of this stuff right. And I mean, he didn't say that, but they don't get a lot of stuff right because Tom Compton is not good at playing football.
But
will
he be back?
Yeah, will he be back? I assume so.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a yes on that one. I'm also a yes.
I mean, I'm sure that his agent is going to bring like a printout.
Yeah, right. That'd be great.
That ESPN, statistic, and be like, yeah, you have the best run. So I don't have a problem with him being on the team
as a swing guy
on the bench.
Yeah, coming in when
I don't want him to play.
Yeah.
And start. He was okay for a little while.
And play 52.2% of snaps.
Yeah, I mean, because McGlinchey got hurt so early.
Yeah,
but he is who he is, and we all know who he is, except for ESPN. But I think even ESPN knows, but they don't know. They don't say that they know.
All right, we're gonna do two of the next guys together.
Yeah,
I kind of keep them in together.
I want them both.
I know. Arden Key. Yes, for me, I feel like he balled out at the end. It's a nice little switch up to bring him in when Bosa needs a spell. Maurice Hurst, nope, didn't do anything. I think I looked at the stats, and actually, here we go. I have him up. 2 solo tackles and 2 games. So that's a no for Hurst, and that's a yes for Key from me.
But that was an injury situation with Hurst, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I would definitely try to keep Key. I mean, you need more edge rushers than we have on the team because Ford, I don't think he's going to be coming back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you look at it's like all of our edge rushers, when you take Post out of the equation, are guys who are, they look more like 3-4 DEs than they do, 4-3 edge rushers. We had a bunch of fat guys on the edge, but they played pretty well last year.
No, I mean they balled out, especially in the playoffs.
And I want to keep them, but we need to keep either sign somebody or we need to keep all of them because we need as many as we can get. I'm sure I'm not the first person who said that you can't have enough edge rushers. Pretty sure that's been said by like every GM ever.
All right, so to wrap it up, we're actually going to go really rapid fire, and we're just going to get a yes or no answer from Chris. Believe it or not, it's going to happen. You ready? Jake Brendel, center.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can. Jake Brendel, center.
What I want or what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
Yes.
All right. I am a yes as well. Jordan Willis.
I hope so.
I hope so as well. I think it is also a yes. Trenton Cannon.
You have to pay. You got to pay him though.
You do have to pay him, but I'm up for that. I think he's got the ability to be in that rotation from the D line that we need. Trenton Cannon.
That fumble. Will the fumble be the deciding factor in his career? One fumble.
Hopefully not, because he's fast.
Yeah, he's fast. He's the fastest player on the Niners last year. When they had the ball, or the people who had the ball. I think they'll bring him back for camp.
Yeah, Trent Sherfield.
Man, what happened to him?
I know, right? Disappeared.
Yeah, but Trey likes him, so yes. Bring it back.
I'm a yes on him as well. I think having Sherfield, having Sanu, having the other guys that we have, the younger guys, I think it's a nice combination.
I mean Trent Sherfield can play, and also he can do anything that it didn't you have Benjamin? Isn't he on this list?
Yeah, he's on the list. Yep, and we said no.
Oh, I don't think we even said. Did we say? Oh yeah, I said no. Get rid of him.
Yeah,
we could just bring Richie James, and Richie James can just clear out the Aventus.
And that's the last person on the list, the one and only Richie James.
Oh, but right, so who was I supposed to go with though? So
Sherfield,
yes. Bring him back. Please bring him back.
Richie James, yes, please bring him back.
Oh, I mean, come on. It's like, can we give him what kind of like amazing contract can we give him? Yeah, as high as possible,
please,
as long as possible,
and let him return.
They're probably not going to, but...
and let him do his flips and call it a day. They probably won't. I would not put money on that.
If nothing else, just for the victory formation.
Just for victory formation. All right, so that is question one. If you did,
you want to go through like the rest of the guys that are on the list.
The restricted. Let's not do. We'll not do this
restricted.
We'll leave that for another day.
I was like, oh, how can we get rid of Ripper Craycraft?
All right, so that is done with question one.
What? They said he's played 0% last year?
Who?
Craycraft. That's not true.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right to me.
He was on the field.
Come on, over the cap. Get it right.
It seems like he wasn't.
Yeah. All right.
I'm running around.
Question number 2 is going to be, where does Jimmy G go, and what do we get for him? So for this one, I'm going to pull up.
He goes back to his locker.
If only.
And we get another Super Bowl season or like a deep playoff season like every year.
Yeah. If only Chris and Aaron Wilson ran the 49ers, we know what they would do. Because we keep on talking about them bringing somebody else out to help out Trey Lance, and there's a perfect person. He's already on the roster. But I digress. So this time we're going to look at
tell him to take like a 90% pay cut.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up a different screen for you guys to see, and on this screen, I just thought it'd be interesting to see who's projected fantasy wise for QBs, and just to see who's on the bottom of that list, and to see who needs to be replaced. So I'm gonna flip that on the screen this time. All right, and we're gonna see from the top down. Number 7 is the first one, right? That needs to be replaced, even though other people would disagree.
So what is this list of?
So this is a list from CBS on the 2022 projections at quarterback for fantasy football. So
and Taysom Hill is number
7. Yes.
Are they sure that Taysom Hill is going to play football?
We don't know. If we had another 45 minutes to discuss this, Chris could talk about Taysom Hill for
they have him over 1,000 yards rushing, it looks like. Right?
Yeah, you are correct. All right, so let's come down the list. Let's go.
We don't have a 17. Like 17 is just like nobody.
Halfway, we see our boy Trey Lance at 18. Lawrence, Tua, Zach Wilson.
So what kind of stats do they expect Trey Lance to have?
Let's see. 34, 52 in yards. TDs 21, NTs 11.
Yeah, I can tell you that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and 605 yards rushing with
at 5
TDs.
Yards a carry.
Yeah,
and 7.3
7.3
yards per pass.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. It's like a long list of things that are not going to happen.
Yeah,
who's doing this? CBS.
CBS. I'm just using this as a reference point for who are the teams that need replacement quarterbacks for our boy Jimmy to go to. So that's the use of this. So going on the bottom of the list, Lance obviously might not necessarily get all the snaps, but isn't going to get replaced. Lawrence isn't going to replace. Tua maybe, and then down the list. So what are the teams that Zach Wilson's not going to get replaced next year? Wentz, maybe. Derek Carr, probably not.
I thought Wentz was already gone.
Is that already gone?
He might be.
Yeah.
Either that, or they're just like, oh, what a crazy mistake we made.
Yeah. All right.
But,
so you're thinking. So we got. Let's talk about just teams. So we got Indianapolis. I mean, who do you think the front runner is? What are your thoughts? Who do you think the front runner is?
I mean,
to get
like
him?
a lot of teams need quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Just like Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I heard they just lost one.
Yes. Yeah, he was kind of good, even though you never know. He might come back and he might come to the 49ers, but that's a talk for another podcast video series.
Yeah. I mean, the
Redskins.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
The Commanders? What?
Washington football team. Let's just stay with Washington football team.
Yeah. I don't think I'm just not going to accept that. The Commanders. It's the horrible. That's just bad. I wonder if the NFL forced it on them or if their own marketing people came up with that. But just so many ways you could go that would have been better than that. Let's see. Who are the quarterback needy teams?
Indianapolis with Wentz. But you got to find somebody who's actually going to compete, has a chance to actually make the playoffs that need a little bit better play out of the quarterback.
Who I totally forgot about is Steelers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So Steelers, that's a team where their defense is good enough that all they really need is a quarterback. I mean, although he was horrible for most of last year, Big Ben wasn't that bad in like high pressure situations. So he wasn't good, but he wasn't quite as bad as, everyone made him out to be like he fell off the map like Peyton did in the Super Bowl season, and he wasn't that bad. But it's time for him to go be homeless or whatever, or shave. So yeah, Pittsburgh, Denver. Do they even have a quarterback? I don't even know if they do. I mean, they had Bridgewater, but they had like two rookies from last year who were like late round. I think the Lions are pretty much done. Sorry, I can't hear
you. I said Houston.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, now I can hear you. Yeah, Houston. Who knows? Yes, I said. The Lions could be looking to go a different direction because they figured out pretty quickly. Sorry, not very quickly, that Jared Goff isn't very good. Yeah. Panthers. That's, the Saints. Obviously, now that Peyton is gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
Take it back. What?
He's gone.
I mean, there's no takey backsies or anything like that.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah. So if he's gone, I can't imagine that his replacement, if his replacement is intelligent, is going to put Taysom Hill as their starting quarterback. Like, they need a quarterback badly. They don't have any quarterbacks. Like, how long do they have Winston?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the contract's at with him, but he's not going to do anything anyways. To be honest.
Yeah, he played a lot better last year than he did like ever before.
All right, so I pulled up just the standings from last year in the regular season because I really think it's going to come down to somebody who needs.
Yeah, I guess you can sort of look at like the teams at the bottom, the ones that.
But you can also look at the fact that teams that let's look at the Steelers. They're 9-7. They're 9-7, and they didn't have a good quarterback. They get a quarterback like Jimmy, and they can probably be better than 9-7. If he's healthy all year, and the Bengals won the North at 10-7. So I mean, I think that's one. You got the Browns at 8-9. Are they going to give up on Mayfield yet? Even though he's not a very good quarterback, probably not. The Colts. I mean, Colts were
No,
not. The
and
Colts were nine
he's
and
been
eight.
better. But, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess he was better last year.
I, the only problem with the Browns last year is that people set their expectations like absurdly high for them when uh, I guess I and no one else in the world knew that they weren't going to be very good this year. It's like it was pretty obvious by the way they played the previous year that they're. I mean, there's no way that they could keep up some of the stats that weren't sticky, that were. I mean, their conversion rates and like it was not possible for them to continue that at the rate. I think they were 11-5 the previous year, but they should have been like an 8-8 team. And then everyone's like, oh, well, now they're going to win 12 games. And I'm like, that's not the way that it works. It's like there's regression. It's not like, you don't get progress. Like you can't get any better than in the red zone than you were. And it's not something that's sticky enough to, assume that it's going to be the same way the next year.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I'd say you're looking at the AFC. I think Steelers at 9-7, losing Big Ben. That can be better with Jimmy. Good possibility. Colts at 9-8, similar situation. Don't have a good quarterback.
Like with the Steelers and the Colts, you have two teams with top end defenses that have some offensive threats that are being hampered by their quarterback play.
All right, so let's go. Those two in the AFC would be. I
mean, Houston too. I don't know what they're going to. At some point, they're going to have to do something about the situation. I mean, the Broncos are going to get another quarterback because they are not going to go with Bridgewater again. I don't think, and they're like 18 guys or something. I mean, how many they lost? Like, they lose 10 games last year.
Yep, 10 games, 7-10.
Yeah, and like they're not that bad. Well, they shouldn't be losing 10 games.
All right, so let's go AFC. We'll go Colts, Steelers, Broncos. I'd go, in my opinion, let's rank them from 1 through 3. I would be Steelers 1, Colts 2, Broncos 3 would be my 1 through 3.
Yeah, because those three teams, that's the order in which they are good. If they would have a good quarterback.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
So that's
go.
How badly they need a good quarterback.
Let's go NFC. Washington football team. Bears aren't going to do anything. Lions, I mean, they're just going to be. I think it's in a waste. They're not good enough team to actually do anything in the next couple of years.
Who knows about the Packers?
That's true. That's also a conversation for another.
I mean, we want as many teams as possible to want quarterbacks because then Jimmy is that much more valuable because we're giving you a potential franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And we're not going to give him to you. We're going to charge you a lot for him.
All right. Bucks.
Lions.
Front runner. I don't see somebody that's that bad of a team and needing a missing piece to be able to do something in the playoffs. I just don't think they're there. Not saying that we won't. I mean, Jimmy also said, "Can you please send me to a contender?" And yes, obviously that'd be ideal, Jimmy, and we want to help you out for the next couple of years. But I would say, the Lions.
I think that there's one more year that they have to pay him before they could just totally get rid of him.
Yeah.
Speaking of golf, so while they need a quarterback, they probably will be drafting one, I guess, even though it's a horrible draft for quarterbacks, but they don't always make the best decisions anyway. So they could use maybe a young quarterback to develop and then give him a bridge season with, hey, here's everything not to do. And then let golf go out there.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, I think both Tampa Bay and New Orleans are a possibility. I think Tampa Bay probably makes the most sense. I know, as having a lot of hatred for the Saints, I hope that the 49ers brass are in the same spot and having a lot of hatred for the Saints. So if he does go to the Saints, they should get more than they get from any other team. But that's just my opinion. But I think
I did not want him to go to this. I mean, did not trade him to the Saints or anyone in the division.
Yep.
That's
That's your
what I
mentality.
mean. Actually, or the Packers. Well, actually, I wouldn't have such a problem with the Packers if they didn't have Rodgers. He's most of the reason why I don't like them.
Yeah, this is a true statement. They are very nice
So,
fans, as we know from going up to Green
oh
Bay
yeah,
a couple years
yeah,
back.
they
Very
treat
nice
us
fans.
unbelievably kindly.
Unbelievably well. Unbelievably well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Except for that one guy who bought us that shot. That was a joke shot.
yes, that
That's
was a
not
joke shot, but it
tasty.
was he did put money out in order to do it. So
Yeah, he paid for it. He
we'll
paid
take it.
for
He
it.
did pay for it.
Yeah.
Bucks, Saints, definitely, and then you can't, like you said, you can't send anybody in the division. All right, so from here we're looking at. Let's just throw the Packers out for now. Let's say Rodgers will come back. I don't think I'm gonna say no to the Lions, and we'll go Bucks,
Yeah, the
Saints.
more I think about it, the
Yeah.
lines are not a good fit unless
So
they're gonna extend him.
all right, so rank them. Give me a 1 and 2. We got our list. We got Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and let's go with those four.
What about Carolina, Washington,
Washington,
Dolphins?
let's go
Maybe,
what? Hmm.
possibly. I'm trying to think. Possibly the Falcons. Houston.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of options. I'm gonna go. All right, I'm
And
gonna
then
go.
and the Vikings might be going the other way too.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's plenty of options. Let's go top two out of this list. Who do you pick top two? I'm gonna go Steelers, Tampa Bay. Those are my
Yep.
top two out of that list. What do you think?
Those make the most sense because you insert them into the system,
Mm-hmm.
and they're replacing quarterbacks that at this point in their careers are pocket guys, or they aren't like running quarterbacks. I mean, Jimmy's not necessarily a quote unquote pocket guy, but for some reason Shanahan wouldn't let him run play action from under center last year. I don't know why, but he's a guy that's better in play action on the move. But you know what I mean. But whereas Brady at this point in his career is a guy who's not going to be moving very far at all. His play action is going to be going straight back, and and then he's going to be thrown deep. So I mean, he would be an easy plug and play guy in Tampa Bay, where they have targets, they have an okay running game, they have a very good defense, so that would make sense. Steelers also have very good defense. They have some talent at the receiver position.
Definitely.
I mean, Jimmy can play even if he doesn't have talent at the receiver position, and he's had to do that. So you see he's dealt with situations a lot worse than I'd say any of the situations that he'd have to deal with any of these teams. So I don't think that's really an issue. And he's dealt with worse offensive lines than all of these teams have. So, at one point or another in his career. So I don't think there are any places where he necessarily can't go, where it doesn't make sense. But you're probably right about Detroit in that if you're going to keep your bad quarterback for one more year, and you're going to want somebody probably younger for his price than Garoppolo. Yeah, or I guess cheaper for his age would make more sense than Garoppolo. Because in Garoppolo, you could get a guy who could, who obviously is a Super Bowl ready quarterback in the right situation. It'd be interesting what's going to happen if he goes to a team that actually lets him throw on like
First and second down.
downs, as opposed to only on like the defensive down, third down. I think everyone might be a little bit surprised if they actually let him play. So I mean, he could. I think he would be a fit in most of those places. I guess maybe I'd take Tampa Bay first because they sort of expect to go. The Steelers were a mess last year, but Tampa Bay was not really a mess. They just didn't make it happen in the end.
Yeah.
So I said that Tampa Bay is like ready to they're ready for another Super Bowl, and he's a quarterback who can take them right back there to get the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think both those teams. I mean, I think he could definitely go to some of the other ones and help them go to Super Bowl. I mean, I put money on the fact that he's going to be in a Super Bowl game, or sorry, be in a playoff game and at least win a playoff game in the next 3 years would be my guess, and I'd put money on it if I could. But
I'd say it all depends on who he goes to.
that's true.
If he goes
Obviously,
to
yeah,
an above average team, then they'll be in the playoffs with the next. Yeah, I mean, because he's going to have to be restructured, I would assume.
yep.
Any team's going to do that, and that structure is going to be for at least 3 years. So I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't have playoff experience in those 3 years. And who can you say that about who's going to be on the open market? And it's a really, really bad year for quarterbacks via the draft.
So
it's
hopefully,
sort of
that's a pro. That's a pro for the 49ers, and they're able to get something good out of him. I'm hoping for a late first round. I'm thinking it's going to be more of a second round for him, and that would be kind of my estimation on what we're able to get for him. What are your thoughts? And then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I don't think the Niners will get as much for him as they should because they don't think as much of him is they should.
Definitely.
So that they're going to be willing to part ways with him and his contract for less money than, or for less,
Value.
draft capital.
Yeah, draft
to
capital.
get the money off their books. And Shanahan just doesn't like him, and he would have been smarter to treat him a little bit. If you're a little bit more forward thinking, he would have been smarter to give him a few more opportunities to score more touchdowns when he gave him like none this last year. Like whenever they get near the goal line, they're running the ball, and it was very rarely with him. And basically, if he was going to score, he was going to score on something long, and because of that, it affects the entire league's view of him.
Yeah.
If you give him 10 more touchdowns, which he would probably have if he was just on a normal team that called a normal split from, like, say, inside the 10-yard line, then you're looking at a guy who's way over 100 quarterback rating and a totally different quarterback. But you keep his touchdown numbers down, which it seems like Shanahan almost like tries to do, and he keeps his fantasy numbers down, and he's not relevant in fantasy, and he's not a guy who's at the top of the list in touchdowns, and it really does affect him adversely, and he has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I think he of course threw that one bad ball in the red zone, but other than that, it's he's pretty good in the red zone. But you're like, why doesn't this guy throw more touchdowns? It's because he doesn't have an opportunity to throw more touchdowns because he's handing the ball off because he does what he's told to do.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. You look
unfortunate for him.
You look at him at the end of next year. Let's think about what people think of him now, and then what are people going to think about him at the end of next year? And that'll be a good thing to see. Okay, what's the difference, and what is this constant, and what was the variable, and how did that contribute to everybody's perception about who he really is as a quarterback? And I'll be really interested to see what happens. Where he goes, we don't know. The value we get for him, we don't know. We're hoping it's
I think
we're hoping it's a high second rounder.
I mean, I want a first round pick for him. We got 2 second rounders for Alex Smith, and he is better than Alex Smith in every aspect of the game, other than returning from horrible injury.
All right, so Chris is going to make a statement. He's going to make sure the 49ers get a first round draft pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, or at least a second or 2 seconds,
I don't really,
and something else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd take 2 seconds, and the fact that we don't have any draft picks forever,
yes,
would be nice to score. And that would give our GM a chance to trade away a draft pick because he hasn't done that yet, right? I guess he hasn't had an opportunity to.
Yeah.
Well, actually, sorry, he has traded away, like all of our draft picks with the Lance trade, but he hasn't had any further opportunity to trade it anyway. So I'm sure you want to get rid of a couple before the draft starts here in a couple months. So,
all right. So I think that's about wraps us up for the day. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Please make comments down below. Please smash that subscribe button and make sure you smash it.
Don't
smash
hit it lightly.
not,
I hear
not
it works
lightly.
better when you smash it.
It does work better when you smash it. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow
I think
us.
subscribing is a good thing.
Yeah, subscribing is always a good thing.
Because just looking through our analytics and all of the views that we got, and they're all just people who weren't previous subscribers. I mean, not all of them, but very, very high percentage, like 90% or something like that.
Or at least tell us in the comments why you're not subscribing, so then we can.
Yeah, I mean, just like I don't subscribe to podcasts or YouTube, content providers, and then we'll be like, that's cool. But a little interaction is good because the numbers were very nice, and the interaction in general is nice, and the new subscribers were nice. So, what am I complaining about? Thanks a lot for watching the last couple of ones of these, and that's the only reason why we're still doing them, because you guys continue to watch them. So keep on watching them.
Exactly. If you have any questions for us to do on the next Q&A session that we'll do in a couple weeks, please throw that in the comment section below or reach out to us on your social media. But until next time, I am Aaron Wilson signing off. Chris Wilson.
Yep. My DMs are wide open for some unknown reason.
Yeah, they are.
Just slide on in.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Later.
All right. Go Niners.